And as you start to really think about what you desire, you're going to realize what you desire maybe isn't even that thing. Maybe it's not more money. Maybe it's not a new car. What it actually is love. And when we see what the emotion is behind what we want, we can just start to give that to ourselves. I can give myself love then. Once you understand that emotion, you can give it to yourself. And then what's going to happen? You are actually in that state of love. And what's going to come to you? More love. More love through having that partner that you want. More love to maybe manifesting a car that you love. More love comes in, all because we understand what we wanted. We saw the value behind it, the feeling and the emotion behind it. And then we were able to connect with it on an emotional level because I can give that to myself. And as I look around and as I really feel into it, it's in my life right now. What I desire is actually already here because it's the emotion behind it. The emotion is already here.
Welcome to Root and Rewire, a grounded, mystical space for awakening, remembering, and becoming. I'm Kayla, and here we explore the shifts, the stories, and the synchronicities that reshape us from the inside out, along with the mystical, the unseen, and the magic that's woven into everyday life. Take a deep breath, soften into yourself, and let's begin.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Root and Rewire. As always, I'm very grateful and excited to be here. This week felt very intense for me. It felt very powerful. It felt very energetically aligned in how I was expressing and taking in information. I'm curious to see how many other people felt activated in any type of way. I'm very curious to know if any of you have been feeling the same way. I started reading a book and it really inspired me to dive deeper into understanding the energetics of the world and the energetics of myself and the energetics of what we're moving into as humanity. We're seeing all around the world the ways that women are growing in their power, speaking and using their voices, and stepping into who they are meant to be, what they came here to do. It's so powerful and so raw and so magnetic. And that furthered me wanting to understand and gain insight to different ways of being and different ways of information seeking, and podcasts and books and videos are all ways that I get really inspired by other people. And it really got me into my body, really got me into more of that heart mind connection integration. What I really want to do in this episode is explore the topics of the body and its intelligence, identity, reclamation, and alchemizing fear. So, if these topics sound interesting to you, this should be a fun episode. I don't ever script my episodes. I'm way more of an in the moment, present kind of person. I feel like that's when I can channel and tune into myself the most. I always form an outline because even though this is where I tend to thrive, I also find myself getting into really deep rants and losing what the core of the message is. And as you can see, probably throughout my podcast episodes, I'm learning. I'm trying my best. But, with each episode, I feel like I get a little better at it. You are part of this journey with me. Hopefully, you're learning, gaining knowledge, and maybe something resonates with you. We're growing here together and learning together. Everything I say feels good to me, but not everything I say is going to resonate with you. We are all here for a reason and a purpose. We all have our own beliefs and ways of being. So, not everything I say is truth. I don't know what's true, but I do know what's true for me. If there are things that don't feel right to you, that's okay. We are not all meant to be the same. If we were, this human experience would be so boring. I think we're all here to spread awareness for each other to grow. And we come in with new, refreshing, or even ancient ideas of what is life and who we are and what this planet looks like and how we're supposed to grow. It's interesting to hear many different perspectives, but it doesn't mean that one perspective is truth because none of us truly know. And if we did know, the human experience would be truly boring. We aren't meant to know, but we are meant to seek our own truths in a way that is rooted in divine love for ourselves and for source. So, welcome. Thank you guys again for being here. As we settle into this space, I invite you to come into your body. What feels tight and tense? Is it your forehead? Is it your jaw? Is it your tongue? Your shoulders? Your chest? Your hips? Your legs? Your feet? Your ankles? Your wrists? What feels tight? As you find that point, breathe into that point of your body. If it's your chest, take a really big, deep breath into your chest. Envision bright, white light expanding as your breath expands into that space. As you breathe out, picture that tightness alleviating. Feel that tightness alleviating. Feel the space, the expansion that's happening as you focus on that point in your body, as you breathe into that point in your body. Maybe you want to put your hand on whatever part of the body that is, and you want to rub it around. Bring love there. Settle, settle, settle. Each episode I do, I come in with a goal of reconnecting ourselves to truth and remembrance. And also trying to find a way to dive deeper into our body and recognize our body for what it is, intelligent. This conversation feels so powerful today because we are in a new year. For us humans, in the way that we are evolving with this calendar that we have, it is a new year. So as we settle into this new year, we see the potential for what 2026 has for all of us. Whether we are in mainstream media or not, I think we can all feel on a collective conscious level that we are evolving. And this year feels more powerful than most. And that is for a reason. We are all continuing to awaken to who we actually are. And it's an exciting time, and it's a beautiful time for community and relationships and the relationship with ourselves to grow and evolve and create expansion. And as I said in the beginning of this episode, I was really sparked to take in a new segment of knowledge and go down a different path than I usually find myself in to gain deeper understanding, not because I want to know the truth for everyone, but because I want to find a truth for me. And as we really start to question who we are, it can feel a little bit nerve-wracking. And that can be because this way that we have been used to being is now being questioned. And our mind does not like that. Our mind loves patterns and structure. And as we start to question ourselves, our nervous system can feel a little shaken, and that is okay. But I wanted to start this episode with understanding our bodies differently than the way that we're used to understanding it. Our body is intuitive, it is biological, and it is an energetic compass. We have all learned about our bodies in school, knowing our skeletal structure, knowing the different muscles and tendons that we have in our bodies. But we have never really learned how to connect with our bodies and see it as intelligence rooted in our heart and sacral. There is a system that alerts our bodies to what feels right and what doesn't. The body holds wisdom before the mind can label it. Hunger, cravings, aversions, fatigue, tension, this is all communication. Normally, when we feel out of alignment with our body, if something feels off, we seek to control it, diagnose it, and get medical attention, medication, pills to take our bodies back into feeling normal. That's just the way that we're used to doing it. But symptoms are not enemies, they're messages. And the body knows on its own what to eat, what to drink, what to avoid, when to rest, when to expand, and it is ever evolving. Maybe now there are foods that you used to love when you were younger, or maybe even 2 years ago, that you cannot eat anymore. An example for me is ketchup. Ketchup is a great example for me because I used to love ketchup. Put ketchup on my burger, put it on my nuggets, put it on my fries, whatever I'm eating, ketchup, love it. Now I smell ketchup and I want to vomit. I hate it. I can't stand it. This is just one subtle way of our bodies not wanting something that we know is probably not good for us anymore. It's not to say that the foods we're used to eating, we should just cut out because it's not good. It's just that feeling that comes up when you're eating something. Maybe you loved coffee and one day you wake up and you now want tea. That is your body telling you that this old way of doing it isn't really for us anymore. Let's get a little bit more natural here. Let's get a little bit more heat in here. And it's doing this for a reason. As we continue to grow and evolve, I think more people are going to become aware of the intelligence of their own bodies. Maybe you see that the way your bodies were used to holding on to fat, it's not holding on to it as much anymore. Maybe you're losing weight. And the goal and the outcome isn't to be skinny. It's really just I'm tapping and tuning into what my body is telling me, and we will see where it goes because it is intelligent and it knows. And it's good to have goals. But a lot of times I feel when we have a goal such as I want to look this way, I want to lose this much weight, the harder it is to grasp onto because your body may not be as aligned to that specific picture that you have for yourself. But this is where we're moving into. We're learning to see our bodies from a different perspective and not just understanding ourselves on a physiological kind of way, the way that we're used to learning about it in school, but seeing it also in a way of what is it trying to tell me? Does this truly feel right for me? And if it does, then dive into that. Now, I am not saying that you should not go to the doctor. I'm not saying that you should not take medications, but start to see your body from an intelligence perspective as it holding so much information for your greater capacity for health and love and wellness and truth than just being a meat suit. As we dive deeper into this conversation about the body, we can use the body as a compass for alignment. The purpose is to bridge body intelligence with energetic alignment. So if we're seeing this from a manifestation perspective, we are told to manifest what you want, to think about it. See the picture in your mind and put out as many positive affirmations as you can. But what if you can manifest quicker when you're able to use your body intelligence, feel into your body, and align that with your mind? What if you need to feel what you want, then just think what you want? We've talked about this in another episode about the heart-mind connection. And seeing alignment isn't mental effort, it's somatic honesty. As we continue to move as a collective, we're going to start seeing a lot more people tap and dive into their bodies through movement, through speaking, talking to your body, through touch and sensation. Another avenue that I found myself taking this past week was seeking into understanding deeper what manifestation truly is. Manifestation is having a desire and trying to bring this desire into our life as we know it now. You want a car? We want to manifest that car. We want to manifest that house. We want to manifest that perfect relationship. The way we're used to thinking about manifestation is I'm going to think it into existence. I'm going to write down and speak out loud as many positive affirmations as I can to make it click and have it pop up in my life. But what we're seeing now is that manifestation isn't just about thinking something into existence. It's also about feeling something into existence. It's not to say that thinking positive and saying positive affirmations don't do something to your body, because they do. And they're great to do on an everyday basis. But to truly manifest your desire is to know that what you desire is actually already yours. And we can go into, understanding the universe as seeing parallel dimensions and timeline jumping and timeline hopping and all that stuff. But we're not going to do that. But it is about seeing yourself as you already have that thing. And not only that, but it's about feeling what you would feel like to have that thing and bringing your body into full alignment with your heart and your mind, right? We're using our heart space. We're using sensation. We're using love. And we're using our mind. We're using the logic. We're using the thinking to bring that desire into being. Manifestation works when the heart feels safe, when we feel grounded, when the mind is not overriding the body, when both the heart and mind are aligned, your broadcast that you're putting out to the universe is stronger and it's not confusing. Life mirrors what you are internally vibrating. If you're vibrating anger and frustration, you're going to see a lot more anger and frustration in your life. If you're vibrating radical truth and honesty, you're going to be seeing that more in your life. The misalignment creates mixed signals. If you're projecting anger and frustration, but you're thinking happy, positive thoughts, the broadcast that you're putting out to the universe is not in alignment. And therefore, it's not going to give you that aligned version of what you want because you are not truly connected to that vision of what you want. So the goal isn't to force a specific outcome here. It's about allowing alignment to bring that outcome. There still needs to be action, but there needs to be connection. Positive thinking, like we're used to in spirituality, and thinking my life is great, even though maybe I'm not feeling so great, is not going to get us what we want. We are denying the sensation of our body because now we know that energy isn't created or destroyed, it's just transformed. So that anger that you're feeling, that you're pushing away to the side, is only going to manifest somewhere else in your life. So that is what we mean by embodied truth. We are diving into our body. We're using the sensations, the subtle nuances of what we're feeling to understand ourselves on a deeper level, to sit with that emotion, to let it flow through, to understand it, to let it go. Then we can create more space for that emotion that we're trying to create, that emotion that we're trying to live into. And having desire from lack is only going to bring more lack. Having desire from fullness is going to bring more fullness. The way that we're seeing it and we're used to thinking is now becoming shifted into understanding the sensation and the heart-mind connection to truly get onto that level of what we desire to be true. And as you start to really think about what you desire, you're going to realize what you desire maybe isn't even that thing. Maybe it's not more money. Maybe it's not a new car. Maybe it's not a loving husband. What it actually is love. And when we see what the emotion is behind what we want, we can just start to give that to ourselves. I can give myself love by taking myself out on a date. I can give myself love by sitting in front of the mirror and talking about what I love about myself. I can give myself love by feeling my body, by feeling myself, holding myself. I can give myself love then. Once you understand that emotion, you can give it to yourself. And then what's going to happen? You are actually in that state of love. And what's going to come to you? More love. More love through having that partner that you want. More love to maybe manifesting a car that you love. More love comes in, all because we understand what we wanted. We saw the value behind it, the feeling and the emotion behind it. And then we were able to connect with it on an emotional level because I can give that to myself. And as I look around and as I really feel into it, it's in my life right now. What I desire is actually already here because it's the emotion behind it. The emotion is already here. That's the truth and radical honesty of understanding manifestation. And that is why the body is becoming such a powerful tool, because we're seeing the intelligence within our own bodies and what it could do for our greater understanding of ourselves. So as we journey into 2026, maybe you have goals and things that you want to accomplish. But I want you to add to that goal list, if you have space and it's not super long, to invite self-sovereignty into your life without destabilization. To add to your list, who am I? I want to understand myself on the deepest level I possibly can. And I'm sure you've asked yourself the question before, who am I? This is one of the most common questions when you start on your self journey is, who am I? And what I'm learning in my journey of understanding myself now is that I used to think I was what I did. I am my job. I am my name. I love connecting with myself on a deeper level. I love understanding God. But as I journeyed into understanding myself, I saw that what I thought of as myself was not actually me. I saw that how I labeled myself was through my name, my beliefs, the rules, and the segmented way that I've made my life to be. And the more people that I talk about, you know, deeper topics of life with, people are still scared to think about themselves on a deeper level. It's almost as if the more I question myself, the more destabilized my life is going to become. This thing that I really think that I like, maybe I actually don't like it. And then what do I do? How do I explain to someone? How do I go up to my family and tell them how much I love connecting with God through music and dance and moving my body and through rituals and metaphysical science? How can I authentically be myself when it doesn't feel as if I can be? But the truth is that you can be. And we talked about it. The more you authentically dive into who you are and project yourself outwardly to the world, the more other people are going to ask themselves the same question and tap into who they are on a deeper level as well. More and more people across the world are not only just thinking about who am I, but they're having these conversations with the people that they love too. And it seems scary, but this is a point of connection. Everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to know, who am I? Why am I here? Everybody wants to know. So why are we so scared to think about it? Well, the media and our government and us doing that in the past wasn't so great. But we are stepping into a new level of being now where you can radically declare who you are and be who you are. And it's scary, but it's your truth. Questioning your identity isn't losing yourself. It's meeting yourself for the very first time. So it's very profound, but it's very beautiful to dive into your own identity and start really questioning, is this my belief? Why is this my name? Do I resonate with this name that was given to me? Do I resonate with this belief that I have? And the more that you sit with it, the more that you dive into it, the more you're going to learn this is not a scary thing. I'm actually radically declaring who I am to myself in the world. And that's where you're connected with your passion and your mission and your purpose. Independence comes from inner authority, not rebellion. I'm really trying to keep myself catered to my outline here because I do not want to drift too far into ranting. And I think you're starting to see what my week was like because all these topics that are coming up are everything that I thought and sat about and listened to podcasts about and did some readings about and really questioned what feels right for me as we're moving into this new state of being away from 2025 and into 2026 and more mass awakenings and looking at the world and people waking up and people using their voices and people speaking up for themselves and tuning into who they really are. We're starting to see how much fear is broadcasted in humanity through the media and social media that we doom scroll on every day. I was led to sit with a fear that I was having. I began to understand that fear is constant and ambient in this world. There is polarity. And to be human is to feel as many emotions as possible. Fear is the most predominant one. Fear is designed to pull us out of the body, to scramble our nervous system and disconnect us from our true potential. It's a way to keep people in line, keep people in control. Because when you're in fear, when you're in a state of fear, you can be controlled. Fear thrives on the disconnection from self. Through my life and through my journey, I used to only want to look at the light and the positives. I never wanted to dive into the darkness and fear. And for me, it was because if I look into this, I'm going to become consumed by it to the point I can't get myself out of it. But then I realized that this fear was not even real. Anytime I thought about the fear, I was giving my power away to something else. And then I was looking elsewhere for something to take me out of it. I had to get radically honest with myself. Why was I so afraid of fear? Why am I fearful of fear? And what am I actually so afraid of? I had to reframe it. And fear started to become for me information and not instruction. The power comes from staying present with the fear. And the body is the safest place to process fear. Because as we just talked about, the body is intelligent. And we are light beings. The light always shines through, and the light is held in the body. And you're always going to be reminded of your light. And now, even to this day, where I see constant fear right in my face, everywhere, all the time, my thought is still that we're okay and we are going to be okay. The more that I sat with fear, I understood my own power. And the more I sat with fear, the more I understood love and how powerful love is. And instead of getting swept up by the state of fear, the state of what could happen, what will happen, instead look at it from a curiosity perspective. What if this did happen? Does this actually seem like something that could happen? Maybe, maybe not. If it did, would I be okay? Absolutely, I would. Why? Because of the community I hold, because of the power that I have within myself, and think through all the hardest times I have been through and how powerful they were for me to now get to this point of who I am and where I'm at and the relationships it brought me and the deeper into love I was able to go. When you look at it from a curiosity perspective, the fear loses its power. You can do this, but I'm good. You can do that and I'll be okay. No matter what could ever happen, the more you tune into your body, the more prepared you're going to be about anything. Because your body brings things up for you that you start to dedicate to in your life, and then all of a sudden you're good. Sit with your body and sit with your sensations. You're able to get to a point of neutrality where information can come in. You could feel if it's right for yourself or not. And then you could take action on it without coming from a place of fear, but coming from a place of truth. My body wants me to do this. This feels right for me. I'm going to do this. And next thing you know, you're good. You're set no matter what happens. And maybe it's finding that person you were meant to find. Maybe it's purchasing this thing you needed to purchase. Maybe it's about learning about this topic you were meant to understand. Fear is a construct. Fear is an illusion. And yes, there's always going to be some amount of fear, even when you dive into fear. But the more you sit with fear, the more it loses its power over you. The less prominent it becomes in your life. The more love overtakes it, eats it up, like Pac-Man. I hope this podcast sparks some intrigue in you to understand your body from a different perspective. Seeing your body as a compass, your heart as a signal, your mind as a translator, to seeing identity as fluid and not fixed, to seeing fear as fuel when met consciously. 2026 and onwards is going to be amazing. They could spread fear among the media and social media, but humanity is becoming more conscious. And that is such a beautiful thing for our planet. That is such a beautiful thing for connection, community, relationships, and love. Remember the beauty of who you are. Don't be afraid to seek even deeper understanding of your identity and what you love and what love means to you and what love feels like in your body. I encourage you to listen to your body in one small way this week. Maybe it's you're eating your favorite meal and seeing how you feel afterwards. Does this feel good? Maybe it's even after a meal, seeing if you ate too much or too little. Seeing what drink feels good for you this week. Maybe more water. I also encourage you to question one belief gently this week. What is something that you feel like you believe in? Does it feel aligned for you? And I encourage you to choose one place where you choose alignment over force. Thank you guys so much for being here as we are closing off this container. As always, I love being here, and it gives you insight on what my week looks like because I love to feel into things and think about things. I love to question myself and others and beliefs, but my goal is to create a space for other people to question as well, to seek to understand yourself on a deeper level, to tap and tune into your body on a deeper level, where you don't feel like you have to perform. You can just be here. And remember, you don't need to become anybody new. You don't need to radically shift who you are as a person. You are remembering who you have always been. And the key is remembering. That's what I think 2026 is all about. Remembering. What a fun journey today was. Thank you guys so much for being here. As always, feel free to reach out and connect with me. Teach me some things. And I look forward to seeing you in the very next episode.
Thank you so much for your support and tuning in today. If this episode supported you and you would like to share, or if you're just looking for someone to connect with, you can find me on Instagram at Soil and Soul Sister. I hope to hear from you. I would love to hear from you. And until next time.